DC Comics.
Love 'em or hate 'em, DC Comics are one of the most popular comics out there. This week, Realstream gives us the top 10 heroes of DC. Nerds, get ready to rage. Number 10. Superman.
Dang. We really want to piss people off quick on this, don't we?
He got number 10.
Starting us off is one of the oldest superheroes of all time. The Man of Steel has been around since the 30s, where he started off in Action Comics. Pretty much invincible, he only has two weaknesses: kryptonite and magic.
Alright, Superman, I think he's about where he needs to be on the list.
Come on, he has the most superpowers out of any of them. He can beat them all into a tiny little speck of dust, and he's number 10.
I've never been a big Superman fan, but to be honest, he's a pretty iconic character. He's the typical, superhero archetype. He needs to be somewhere on the top 10 list, so I guess number 10 is about right for him.
First off, he's not that bright. I mean, he's kind of dumb, and it seems like the only time where you actually see Superman where he's like really smart, where he actually seems really smart, is in comics where he tries to take over the world, like Red Sun.
I'm alright with him being at this point. I feel like he's one of the most overrated heroes ever.
Even his clothes have superpowers. He even has super pants.
Number 9. Wonder Woman.
Well, I can say this, Rashana's gonna be happy.
The most popular female superhero. Wonder Woman has been a progressive symbol for women, showing that even a woman can keep up with the most powerful of heroes. She can fly, she's an expert melee fighter, and she has superhuman strength.
She's basically the female version of Thor, which is, you gotta respect that. She's a warrior first and foremost, and she kills.
And I remember watching the Flashpoint, and she fights Mira, Aquaman's wife, and she cuts her head off. Like, straight up decapitates her. That's pretty violent.
I feel like she should have gotten higher, but I mean, daughter of Zeus, come on.
That's Wonder Woman at number 9. I don't know, it's kind of scary. We have 2/3 of the Trinity on the bottom of this list. I think that's pretty funny. Batman number 7, what's going on here?
Number 8.
Need a hand?
Nightwing.
I'm just glad he made the list.
Wow, he actually made the list.
Richard Grayson started off as the most recognizable sidekick in comic history. He has since come into his own as a lone crime fighter in the city of Bloodhaven. A trained acrobat, as well as a detective, he's a sunnier version of Batman.
Nightwing, he should not be on this list. I mean, the only reason why Dick Grayson exists is because, like, back in the 50s, they wanted more teenagers to read their comics, and so they gave Batman a teenage sidekick. And, they had already created the character, and he obviously couldn't, stay a little kid forever. So they had to do something with him, and that's where Nightwing came from.
I like Nightwing. He's really cool. He's Batman, but not emo version. He's Dick Grayson. He's the original Robin, which makes him such a cool character because he was the original one who made Batman not a loner, but made everybody question Batman's intentions.
Number 7. Aquaman. Punchline in the internet for years. The perception of him changed thanks to DC's New 52, where he's been rebooted to a badass. He's got superhuman strength, can control ocean life, a magic trident, and is king of Atlantis.
I think he should be higher on the list.
Probably should have been number 10
because he's already very strong.
He can talk to fish, so he can stand at an aquarium and entertain himself for hours.
The king of Atlantis.
What do you think of the establishment here?
He has an entire army at his disposal.
How do you like your little rocks? Are they nice? Are they feeding you the little flakes well?
Plus, he has a magical trident, which means he kind of has the he gets the best of both worlds when it comes to fighting. He has the super strength plus the magic.
He's an interesting character once you think about it. He's someone who's living between two worlds. He's half human and half Atlantean, but he's not just like a regular Atlantean guy. He's like heir to the Atlantean throne. I mean, it's like he's a king of an entire race of superhuman.
Number 6. The Martian Hunter guy.
He's green. I don't even know if does he even have any supervillains?
The lone survivor of a Martian genocide, He takes up residency on Earth where he helps create the Justice League. He has superhuman strength, can fly, shapeshift, is telepathic, and can even move through walls. However, like the Scarecrow, a little fire will straighten him out quick.
He's like the one superhero in the Justice League that I have never bothered to spend any time researching. I know nothing about him because he doesn't seem like he's worth checking into.
Now, I do like Martian Manhunter. I think he's cool. I just like the character design. He's this freaky looking dude that's got all kinds of crazy powers he can beat you with. I think out of all the characters on this list, I think he's probably the most powerful. He's got the strength and speed of Superman, but he's got the telekinesis and psychic powers of Professor X. I think he's all around badass.
His weakness is fire, and fire is pretty easy to get. I mean, it's not like kryptonite where it's like super rare and you have to be like really rich to get some of it.
Yeah, well, the Martian Manhunter, he definitely deserves to be on this list. I think 6 is about where he should be.
He's a really cool character, and I wish DC would do a lot more with him.
Number 5. The Flash. A CSI by day and a superhero by night. The Flash has one of the most recognizable rogues gallery, known as the Rogues. He can move faster than even Superman, able to vibrate through walls and run through time.
The Flash's abilities in general should put him at number 5. I mean, he's one of the most overpowered characters, probably second only to Superman in the DC universe.
And with the Speed Force, I mean, he can like literally run through time. I know in Blackest Night, he actually traveled a few seconds into the future to escape a black power ring that was chasing him. And in Flashpoint, he actually traveled through time and he created the New 52. So I mean, he's really powerful.
Flash is cool. I mean, he's basically a guy in spandex pajamas that can run really fast, but he makes it work.
Number 4. Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan at number 4? Are you freaking kidding me?
The first human inducted into the Green Lantern Corps. Hal is one of the greatest Lanterns. However, he has also become one of the universe's greatest threats when he was possessed by Parallax. His ring gives him the ability to create pretty much anything using his willpower.
Hal Jordan, I'd probably put him lower on the list. He's kind of arrogant, and in a lot of the stuff, like in Rage of the Red Lanterns, when the Blue Lanterns are there, he's just a total dick to them. I mean, they charge his power ring up to like 200%, and he can't say one nice thing to him.
Okay, Hal Jordan, he's the one. He was at the top of my list. He's my favorite Green Lantern and overall my favorite DC character. Man, he's got an attitude that I agree with. He's just, no matter what, he's just balls out, always trying to get the job done. No matter what it takes, he could have 0 powers and he's still, gonna find a way to get it done. He's got some of the best villains. In my opinion, he's got probably the best villains in DC comics. Maybe Batman obviously gives him some competition there, but. He's cool. He's got a big job and he lives up to it. He should be higher in my opinion.
Number 3. Green Arrow.
Green Arrow at number 3? Wow, people are going to be so pissed at this. I mean, number 3?
Billionaire Oliver Queen was marooned on an island for 5 years where he survived after fashioning a bow and arrows. When he came back to civilization, he became the Green Arrow and somewhat of a hippie. He has an arsenal of trick arrows and is trained in hand-to-hand combat.
Well, I mean, he's kind of the poor man's Batman.
He's a lot like Batman.
Queen's a little bit of a Batman knockoff.
Quinn, he's even more like Batman without the emo version.
But he's a fun character. He's got his own little quirks. He's got a bunch of crazy arrows, an exploding arrow, a boxing glove arrow. Some of the older stuff is kind of cheesy, but he can I like him. He definitely deserves to be on this list too.
I mean, super rich. Super badass, a bunch of trick arrows and everything. He did it before Katniss.
Number 2. Jon Stewart.
The guy from The Daily Show.
The second Green Lantern on this list. He is the most recognizable due to his time on the Justice League. A former Marine sniper as well as an architect. Most of his constructs are guns.
Alright, Jon Stewart number 2. Who made this list? They need to get shot. Fire them. Monty! Fire who made this list!
He's got a troubled past. He's got a lot of regret. He accidentally blew up a planet. Well, he's blown up 2 now, but the first one was a complete derp up, and he's never really quite lived that one down.
I mean, because he's an architect, which means that his constructs are going to be much more complex than what Hal Jordan does.
He's great. Most people probably know him over Hal because he was the Green Lantern representative in the Justice League cartoon. And yeah, I like John a lot. He's probably my second favorite Green Lantern. He's maybe tied with Guy. Kyle's the one I don't like, but yeah, cool character.
Number 1.
I know it. Batman.
Batman's number 1.
It had to be Batman, right?
I approve of this message.
The greatest detective on the planet, trained in almost every form of combat, as well as a master technician. And due to his vast wealth, he has an array of gadgets and vehicles that are useful in almost any situation.
Batman has great stories. He's had a lot of incredible things happen to him. Just, gut-wrenching. Watching his proteges get murdered and maimed.
I mean, he doesn't have any superpowers, but he can always outthink anybody.
Oh man, everybody put Batman like number 3 on number 3 or number 4 on the list, but because of the math, he gets number 1 because everybody has such different opinions on who's supposed to be on the list.
He's probably the superhero you see the most action figures of, even since I was a kid. I think everybody you knew had a Batman action figure. You can go to someone's house. You probably knew a girl that had a Batman action figure in her Barbie set somewhere along the line. I mean, Batman was just everywhere.
To me, Batman is the best character because he's also the most relatable. Superman, he's so freaking out there. He's like a god, and people can't relate to that. You can relate to Batman. You can relate to something tragic happening to you, and that's who Batman is. And the fact that he's able to go toe-to-toe with some of the biggest villains in DC is pretty incredible.
He's had a huge impact on movies, film, the pop culture, mainstream, on everything. He's a great character, and I can't argue with that.
I don't even see Batgirl on there. She's got all the same abilities and most of the same training, plus she has boobs and long red hair and super intelligence.
Left off the list. I would have picked Guy Gardner only because Green Lanterns are my favorite characters in the DC universe, and he's not he's not well known because Hal Jordan was the Green Lantern in the movie. Jon Stewart was the Green Lantern in the TV show, the cartoon show. Guy never really got the mainstream push that the other two got. But he's always been a favorite because he's a lot like Hal. He's maybe Hal dialed up to 11.
I'd have to go with the Question. He's just another awesome character. He's like, conspiracy theorist. I mean, he follows whatever clue. I mean, he's like as good a detective as Batman is. So I would probably put him on the list. I mean, even though he doesn't actually have any superpowers.
Superman should be a lot higher. Batman just a little lower. He definitely deserves a top 3. But I think so does Superman, and so does the Flash. I mean, Flash is really cool.
Well, you can't put Superman any lower and keep him on the list. So I don't know. That's a tough one. I would put Hal higher only because like I said, he's a great character, and I love Green Lantern. I think it's what Jeff Johns has done with the series has been one of the best things in DC Comics in the past decade. Other than putting Hal higher, I'm happy with the list.
I think Hal Jordan should be lower, probably like maybe number 7.
I don't know. I'm still upset that Jon Stewart's number 2. I think Aquaman should have been much higher. I think Wonder Woman should have been a little bit higher. Superman can stay at number 10. That's fine. I'm okay with that.